Hey there, this is Ryan Ledden, financial advisor and owner of Black Oak Asset Management, a financial advisory firm here in the Atlanta area. I wanted to talk about a Yahoo Finance article I recently came across and read, and got the article here in front of me. There's a few snippets of information. So, bashing the Roth, that's basically what this article was about. And these videos I like to do, obviously they're not specific advice for everyone out there, but I really took it to heart when I saw the headlines of what they were talking about, and again, bashing the Roth IRA or the Roth 401k. So the article, it's a pretty quick, easy read. So it's pretty easy to poke holes in this because of the information that was lacking in here, and it probably was clickbait. Hey, it worked for me. I clicked on it and read it. And it's kind of cherry picking what kind of information they want to use. Well, as a financial advisor who looks at everyone's big picture, we take everything into consideration when we're talking about comprehensive financial planning. You can't just take a look at this one or two little pieces of information and say, "Oh, the Roth IRA is bad. I think the article said they lost over $400,000 by using a Roth IRA." So let's get into it. It basically talks about, hey, most people have heard about a Roth. They kind of know conceptually maybe what a Roth is. I think the survey said that 92%. Everyone said, "Oh, 92% who are surveyed should do a Roth IRA." They just couldn't tell you why. Well, this particular article, and it even mentions Dave Ramsey. I mean, we're Dave Ramsey SmartMaster Pro advisors, so it was kind of cool that Dave was mentioned in there, because Dave talks about it on his podcast that you should do a Roth 401k or a Roth IRA, which I couldn't agree more. It's from a taxation standpoint, it's hard to argue growing tax deferred and then pull it out tax free. Obviously, you have to meet certain requirements. You have to meet age requirements, and it's got to be in there for 5 years, the 5-year rule. But anyway, I'm not going over specific rules on the Roth IRA on this. That's an easy Google search for a lot of people to do out there. But yeah, he's really poking holes, saying that why would you put money into a Roth 401k or Roth IRA when you're in a higher income tax bracket? Now, when you're working, then you will be in retirement. You'll be in a lower tax bracket. And I say, really? How do we know that? Well, of course, they were using numbers on median. So I'm not misquoting. Median household income is now $70,784. Well, when you take the standard deduction of marrying filing jointly, your taxable income is only $47,620. Which those numbers, I'm not arguing. They may be correct. A lot of people that we work with are way above that income threshold, and they want to be way above that when they get to retirement. So if they want to be way above that, I can already say that this argument for bashing the Roth is incomplete, because I've done so many retirement plans, projected retirement plans for clients, and many times they're in the exact same tax bracket. So why not get all those years of tax deferred growth and then pull it out tax free, so you can control what tax bracket you're in? I have so many clients that are all pre-tax, because that's all that was available to them. So they're retired now, all pre-tax, and then they have Social Security. Well, if you have all pre-tax accounts, your first beneficiary of every single one of your accounts is the federal government. They're going to get their taxes. They're going to get their taxes out of it. And so your beneficiaries are not the ones that you put on there. It's the Treasury Department. They're going to get their tax money out of it. So why not have a bucket? And I'm not saying you have to save every single dollar into a Roth. There's some advantages of getting tax savings today, depending on what tax bracket you're in. But if you look at history, there was no mention of history in this article. There's no mention of how high tax rates used to be. They've been exceedingly higher than what they are now. They are set to go up in 2026. They're set to go up. I mean, it's laid out in law, unless they change it. It's laid out in law that they're going to go up again, not significantly, but they're going to go up again. So it's good to have a bucket of money that you're pulling from, that you control your tax rate. Okay, so taxable income spills over into every category into retirement. It spills over into how much your Social Security is taxed in retirement. It spills over into what your Medicare premiums are going to be. It spills over into what your capital gains rate is going to be. So if you save in a investment account or a brokerage account and you have gains in that account, well, if you're in the 10 or 12% taxable income bracket, and you can control that by having tax-free money in there in a Roth 401k or a Roth IRA, your capital gains rate is going to be significantly lower, maybe even zero. So again, it's an incomplete argument to completely bash a Roth IRA or a Roth 401k saying they lost $400,000. I disagree. I'm not saying they didn't lose $400,000. Again, it doesn't really tell you why or where it came from in this article, but we have no control over where tax rates are going to go one day. And I know this is the argument on the other side. This argument is you're going to be in a lower tax bracket in retirement. That's easy to say. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. But where are tax rates going to go? I just, in my humble opinion, I don't think they're going to go down. We have a huge debt issue. Now, is it going to be marginal tax rates that the federal government goes after? I don't know. It could be inheritance tax or the estate tax, which that's a whole other conversation right there, where they tax over a certain amount. Well, right now, the exemptions are really, really high, so it doesn't affect a lot of people. But if those rates go down as far as how much you can pass on to heirs, then that could change tax rates as well. So there's so many ways that they could tax us more by not necessarily changing the federal tax bracket, the marginal tax bracket. So we'll see. Again, not specific advice out there, but Roth IRA, Roth 401k, it's very, very hard to argue against that when you take the entire picture of your retirement into play here. This is basically only talking about one thing. You're going to be in a lower tax bracket in retirement. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. If you are, okay, there's a valid argument here. If you're in a lower tax bracket in retirement, it does make sense to put it in tax deferred, pre-tax today, tax deferred. But again, it just spills over into other areas of retirement. Like I mentioned, Social Security is going to be taxed more. It's probably going to be means tested one day. So if your taxable income is more, it's going to get taxed more. Medicare premiums, it goes on and on and on. Capital gains rates. So I'm a big proponent. If you have access to a Roth 401k, take advantage, because that's only about 30 to 40% of all retirement plans out there have access to a Roth 401k. If you're not sure, ask somebody at work, ask somebody who knows. I've had clients who said, no, we don't have one, and they do have one. And you can sock a lot of money away, and there's no income thresholds like there are in the Roth IRA. If you make too much money, you can't do a Roth IRA. Again, there's a whole backdoor Roth, another conversation for another day, but I completely disagree with this Yahoo Finance article. I'm a big advocate for Roth accounts because, again, you control your tax rate. And if you're young, you really want to take advantage of it because compounding interest, time value of money, a big pot of money at the end, and it's all tax-free, it's definitely hard to argue that. So stick with the Roths if you're doing it. Don't go away from it. Take care, everybody. See you.